School safety put on hold. All eyes were on Tallahassee today. The Senate put off debating and voting on the gun and school safety bill that we've been talking about and hearing about for weeks now. But first, another story you need to keep your eye on as we head into Florida's wildfire season. A brush fire burned 2 homes near Weeki Wachee in Hernando County. It burned about 110 acres east of US 19. Hernando County Fire Rescue is calling this one suspicious. It's contained right now, but Nightside Sarah Rosario spoke to homeowners who were suddenly in the line of danger.
This is one of several hot spots still burning, and even though it's pretty small, there are so many of these burning across the area. The smoke so thick in parts that I was having a hard time breathing, and we could hardly see as we were driving into this neighborhood. We're told it happened just around 2:30 p.m. where neighbors called 911 after seeing smoke and ash flying around their house. This is happening here in the Royal Highlands neighborhood. The flames moving so quickly, it destroyed this home. The 2 people living inside were able to make it out safely, but we're told they tried to put out the flames at first using a garden hose and water from a neighbor's pool to put it out, but it wasn't enough. By the time crews arrived, 2 other homes were damaged. A neighbor we spoke to cries as she told us she didn't know if she'd make it out alive. Her family van burned as she tried to grab all of her medicine and some of her valuables, but thankfully crews were able to make it to her house to keep the fire from getting to her home just in time.
God was on our side. Sorry. It was scary. I hugged a tree and prayed.
No word yet on what caused the fire, but we're told crews like this one will be going throughout the neighborhood throughout the night to make sure that hot spots like these don't spread. We're told this area hasn't had rain in at least 3 weeks. Sarah Rosario, 10 News.
Yeah, it is dry out there. So thankful for those first responders, by the way. We were actually watching the fire from radar that we use for tracking storms because it could tell the smoke from the regular air, and you can see this popping up right here. You're going to see the smoke blow off towards the south-southwest right there. That was from earlier. This is up towards the northern end of the Suncoast Parkway, north and east of Weeki Wachee. Winds have gone light, but they will stay out of the north and come back up as we go into tomorrow. So the smoke, if there's anything left, will be coming back in that direction. We haven't necessarily been dry if you look at the numbers since January 1. Almost 8 inches of rain. We're over by 2.5 inches, but we got 5 of that in January, not much in February. And just let's think about it. We could have an active fire season. We have debris from Irma laying around. We had the freezes in January, which killed some things, plus that warm and dry, record warm February, and not much rain in the month of February. We were a little bit below average, not much though. Plus La Nina is still going, and that's usually warm and dry for us, which we've been for the most part. Now, this is the dry season. But look at these months. You get into March, April, May. The temperatures go up. The rain doesn't. So it starts to dry things out even more so. So the threat gets higher as we get towards the end, April, May, and June. Drought-wise, we look really good right now. That's not an issue. But if you take a look at our chance for fire potential, the month of March, near normal. Look what happens in April and in May. And then finally, as we get the rainy season going in June, the forecast is that will start to come back down. So let's hope that that is the case and that it's not as bad as it could be.
And now is a great time to download the 10 News app. We will send you push alerts with any information about fires that might pop up in your area. The people elected to represent you in Tallahassee will spend their Saturday working. The Senate has called a rare Saturday session after putting off debate on new safety and gun laws in the wake of the Parkland shooting. They're trying to reach a compromise that will get enough votes to pass bills on several things, including raising the minimum age for all gun purchases, increasing school security, and one of the most controversial plans, creating a program to let teachers carry guns into the classroom. Tonight I spoke to a law enforcement expert who told me arming teachers could work, but only with extensively trained security guards on campus as well. And then I saw firsthand that sort of training is costly and it takes a lot of time. Tell me how necessary it is right now to have armed security guards, former police officers in our schools.
Well, I don't see any other alternative because anything that they're working on right now, any of the legislation to change gun laws, any of the arming teachers, the training that's going to be required for all of that is going to take a lot of time. It's not going to happen tomorrow. These events are happening now. The only way to stop these events is with a man with a gun, a good man with a gun to stop a bad man with a gun.
Russell Ricaldi is a retired Homeland Security Special Agent. He now runs ITAC Services, which provides armed security guards for schools. He gave me a look at how he trains his people.
You have multiple active shooters, which of course we've had in the past. You have a hostage situation. In this depiction, we have a child, and then we have innocents. Again, the training and the ability to shoot in between innocent people and actually hit the bad guy. So the training has to be extensive, not only in mindset, but also firearms training, knowledge of terrorist incidents, knowledge of active shooters, telltale signs, and pre-surveillance. You need either a veteran law enforcement officer or a veteran of the military. Those are the only people that I hire in my company, and that's the only people for this job.
What is it that you do when you're training people?
The training has to be extensive. It has to start with mindset. So the person that we choose has to already have a combat mindset, a survival mindset. This is a situation where, in an active shooter, you have to now, by yourself, engage a person that's using deadly force that would normally be engaged by an entire SWAT team.
So that means the person you're describing is going to be in a different pay bracket because you're expecting so much experience.
The average security guard in Florida makes somewhere between $10 and at the top end maybe $11, $12, $13, $14 maximum. That's for an armed security guard. You cannot get the quality of person that you need for this job at that price. And these people that are doing these active shooter scenarios, they don't want to be taken down by police. That's why they normally commit suicide. They commit suicide because they're cowards. As soon as they are engaged, they're done. The shooting stops. So if they know that there's an armed, trained person on the campus, they're not going to pick that campus.
Delayed in Tallahassee and shelved in Washington. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says his chamber won't debate any gun laws when they return next week. Instead, they're going to focus on banking bills. Now, you've heard about the tens of millions of dollars the NRA spends each election cycle donating to conservative politicians. But
what you don't hear about is the other way this powerful group influences elections by spending against candidates who favor gun controls. 10 Investigates' Noah Pransky digs deeper.
Congressman Murphy's weakness is a threat to your freedom.
There are few places more dangerous in politics than the crosshairs of the NRA. Former Florida Congressman Patrick Murphy knows it.
The NRA sends out a scorecard to thousands of people in every district, millions of people across the country, and they give a rating.
His rating, an F. Little surprise after campaigning on an assault rifle ban while unsuccessfully trying to unseat Senator Marco Rubio in 2016. The NRA sure made sure it was known too, with more than $1 million to support Rubio's campaign and more than twice as much on negative ads slamming Murphy. Across all the federal elections in 2016, the NRA spent more than $50 million on influence, 2/3 of it negative spending against Democrats.
Why do people do negative ads? And the short answer is they work.
Chara Torres-Spelisi is an election law professor at Stetson University. She says the NRA has been effective protecting gun rights by spending big bucks protecting conservative politicians and attacking their opponents. In 2016, it spent more than $11 million to support Donald Trump and nearly $20 million more hammering Hillary Clinton. And it's not that the money is manipulating anybody. Much of it is about motivating the membership.
NRA voters, by and large, vote at a greater percentage than most common voters out there.
In some ways, the NRA is very akin to very large unions. So a large union both can produce money for the Democratic Party, typically, and they can produce voters.
Which makes all that money fighting gun control money well spent for an organization with a laser focus. Its choice weapon for self-defense is the ballot box.
One big question is where all the NRA's campaign cash is coming from, because much of the spending is through nonprofit dark money groups. There's reportedly now a federal investigation into whether some of the 2016 cash came illegally from a Russian banker close to Vladimir Putin. We've reached out to the NRA for comment, but never heard back. Noah Pransky, 10 Investigates.
I talked with you about this on Facebook Live tonight, not just about the influence of the NRA, but of any special interest group that pours money into helping decide our elections on both sides of the aisle. Chris, you told us the NRA is only powerful because the members vote together, and that's the definition of democracy. Kirian, you had an issue with the entire system. You told me if a government official takes money from a special interest group, they should not be allowed to vote on anything related to that group. Peggy, you agreed with Kirian and then added they are paid and elected to do work for Americans. Stop them from being bought and paid for. And according to Shari, both sides are hypocrites. Every single nominee screams against lobbyists, and then the very lobbyists they are screaming about have already donated to their party. Now, the conversation is still going on Facebook. Let us know what you think. Just search 10 News WTSP.
Homes and businesses are underwater and millions are without power as a powerful storm slams the Northeast.
The Northeast is getting slammed tonight by heavy wind, rain, and a strong storm surge. A powerful nor'easter has killed at least 4 people across 3 states. The hurricane-force winds have blown trees into houses and knocked down power lines. And high tides have put waterfront areas and houses underwater. 50 million people from the mid-Atlantic to New England are in that storm surge. And Bobby, the conditions are going to be pretty rough throughout the night, right?
Absolutely, yeah. They still have evacuations for many areas, mainly because of storm surge. And we talk about hurricanes here, we have a storm surge issue. They have it there too, and that's essentially a Category 2 almost hurricane, 90-mile-per-hour winds offshore. There's been some gusts that high. Sustained winds are less than that. But you can see this flow that's moving on shore into the Boston, Massachusetts area. Storm surge is the amount of wind mixed with the tide, and how long is that wind blowing? And it's been blowing for almost 24 hours in some places, and it's just pushing water up there. There's a spot in Boston, they've got at least the top 3 that they've ever seen that tide come up that high. Snow is starting to come down a little bit. You can see even the rain is starting to lighten up a little bit. This is all weakening and moving offshore. These are the latest winds right now. Boston is sustained at 39 miles per hour. Winds blowing 40 miles per hour sustained. Gusts right now 55 miles per hour, 46 in Ocean City, Maryland, 30 out in Kill Devil Hills. This is actually blowing off to the south and the southeast. They'll get some sound side flooding over on Ocracoke for that. Here's the storm system slowly moving away. But because there's so much wind, that's the reason why we actually had the cold front come all the way through here and finally cool us down. This whole system working together. There's going to be another one that will develop and move through that area Tuesday and Wednesday. It also pulls a cold front through here for us, so we'll get cooler on the backside of that once again. The second one will not be as strong, and the setup, it won't have it just off the coast, so it won't be pushing as much water up on the coast. But it is going to be a mess to clean up. If you have travel plans up there tomorrow, you may not have travel plans for up there tomorrow, so call ahead. All right, 82 for us today. 86 is the record. It's beautiful out there this evening, nice and quiet. And you know what? We've got comfortable temperatures, 64 degrees. The dew point is down, still in the mid-50s, so it feels better. Air temperatures for most areas are in the 60s, but look at the 50s. Brooksville, Crystal River, Dade City right now, 57 degrees. Satellite radar showed a couple of showers trying to fall with that front this morning, but that's it. We didn't see much at all. Tomorrow morning, how about this? Upper 40s and lower 50s to get your weekend started. Look at Saturday and Sunday. I mean, this is your Saturday. Most of the morning in the 50s and 60s, the afternoon in the low 70s, about 73 for a daytime high. So that's a beautiful weekend. Sunny, dry all the way through. The Skyway Bridge, Skyway 10K, incredible weather for that. Will be breezy, but I think generally in the 50s for the race, and breezy, especially on top of the bridge. Other than that, it's not going to be a whole lot of wind. But you can see as we go into Saturday night into Sunday morning, you see a little stretch right there of the bay? That's where we're going to have a little bit of extra wind. Boating, small craft advisories until 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. The wind will start out high and then come down, generally out of the north and the northeast. And your 7-day forecast shows a fantastic weekend, plus Monday, Tuesday, look at this. Mid-70s, beautiful. Starts to get a little bit warmer in the mornings. That other front, decent chance for rain, which we could use. That'll be Wednesday, and it's even cooler behind that with highs in the 60s.
Looking good. Hillsborough County officials are hoping you will consider being a foster parent. There are not enough families, and this week they announced that they are facing a $4 million shortfall. 10 News reporter Bianca Gralo shows us how important a loving foster parent can be in the life of a child.
Going to be happy that both of us are picking them up.
These two moms are headed to an elementary school.
I am picking up Jordan, the baby of the bunch.
Her baby.
Yeah. Our baby. Yeah.
See, Nancy Spinoza gave birth to Jordan, but Francis Martin
I gotta sign him out.
was there when he needed her most.
Oh, no. He said, oh, no.
Now he gets to have them both in his life. And that means double the attention, double the love, and
double presents.
But there was a time when Jordan and his two older sisters didn't have anyone.
We were never cared for in the right way.
Lavoria Spinoza was only 6 years old when she and her siblings were taken away from their biological mom. Nancy went to prison for drug trafficking, and her kids went into the foster care system. That's when Frances became their foster mom.
She cared for us and let us know that we were special to her in a way that we could never experience.
She gave them the basics, a home, clothes, food.
We would starve, like literally starve. We were left in a hotel alone.
But she also helped them heal.
And just so many things. I've seen things I didn't want to see. And, you know, we felt more safe here once we got to know her more better. And I'm very thankful for that.
Can I make it?
Sure.
Frances has done the same for some 15 other kids over the years.
About 10 years ago, I just felt that was my purpose, to help kids. You want me to help you?
And Hillsborough County workers are so happy she did. They just wish they were more like her because thousands of kids who have been removed from their homes need a place to go.
The need for foster parents in Hillsborough County is great.
Frances hears that and she wishes she could do more, but those around her will say she's done enough.
I owe her like everything.
She has supported Nancy in turning her life around. She adopted her 3 kids. She's fostering 2 other children and doesn't plan on slowing down.
I think I will probably do it until I can't anymore.
But even if she does nothing else, she has already won over too many hearts to count.
I love her with all my heart.
In Plant City, Bianca Grelo, 10 News.
And if you're interested in learning more about how to become a foster parent, there is an orientation meeting next Monday. You can find that information on our website, WTSP.com.
Now, from your Suncoast Hyundai dealers, this is 10 Sports.
Don't lie. You know we all did one of these when we heard Tiger Woods committed to Valspar today. That's right. Now, hopefully we see that vintage Tiger Woods fist pump come next week as he makes his way back to Innisbrook for the first time in 22 years, guys. And with Woods in, well, somebody had to get the boot. Meet Jonathan Randolph. He's actually ranked 123 spots ahead of Tiger in the World Golf Rankings, but Woods, well, since he's given it a go, Randolph was kicked to the curb. Check out his tweet, guys. It's hilarious. He said, the Tiger Woods effect is real. Just got the hip check out of the field by the GOAT. Hashtag, I'm not even mad. Well, at least he's having fun with it, right? Not as much fun as I had at Valspar, though. Sorry, Randolph. We actually got to go out there. Yeah, me, Justin. I know, that was bad. Me, Justin, Reg, Bobby Lewis. We had a chance to tee it up at Innisbrook, and we made sure to show Tiger just how it's done.
Reg, you ready to roll today?
There's a bear. Oh.
We got a star-studded field here at the Valspar Championship this year, and I'm not talking about Rory and Sergio. I'm talking about Reggie Roundtree, Bobby Lewis, and then the man on the tee box. Well, he's not a stud, but that's Ryan Bass. Let's have some fun.
I'm a dangerous man with some money in my pocket. Keep up!
All right, so look at who I ran into.
What's up, guys?
The defending Valspar champion, Adam Hadwin.
Yeah.
So I'm playing against 3 other Channel 10 guys.
Yep.
You clearly know the secrets of this course.
Yeah.
Give me a few of them.
Keep in the fairway.
Easier said than done.
Easier said than done. I'm giving out tips.
Reggie Roundtree,
hey,
nice
Reggie,
to see you. Good to see you, brother. He can stroke the ball.
He's gonna take you down today.
I don't know.
I gave him a few tips.
Not happy.
He hits it like 50 yards further than me. This putt is the last thing I do at work before I go on my honeymoon.
Well, doesn't look like your honeymoon's going to go very well.
See you guys in 2 weeks.
Honeymoon went fine, by the way. Guys, the field for Valspar is the best in tournament history by far. Here's the big four notables: Tiger, Spieth, Rory, and Sergio. 3 of those ranked top 12 in the world.
Time now for the College Basketball Countdown, powered by Fios by Frontier.
It's March Madness just a few weeks away. Our friends at Fios by Frontier got you covered for the weekend of college hoops. Gators look like a surefire tournament team, but can boost their resume with a win over Kentucky. You can watch that game right here tomorrow on 10. He hosts Virginia Tech. It's a noon tip on ESPN2.
Race weekend is finally here. The inaugural Skyway 10K is this Sunday. People have been training for this for a while.
Allison's been training for it for a while, too.
Yeah.
Oh, she's a trooper. And we're, of course, all really excited about it here at 10 News. Allison and about 7,000 of her friends will have to cross the Skyway Sunday morning and have a smile on their faces. 100% of the proceeds from the race will go to the Armed Forces Families Foundation.
It's a great cause.
Yes, you can watch it live here on 10 News starting at 7 a.m. and we will also be streaming that race on WTSP.com and also on our Facebook page. The race will close the northbound lanes of the Skyway from 4 to 10 a.m.
Yeah, so keep that in mind.
Be aware of that.
Beautiful weather, 50s. It will be a little bit breezy at the top of the span. I don't think it's going to be terrible. I'm curious if they're going to have a lane so that all the people that get to the top that want to take selfies
they're going to
They're going to have to do that.
Well, Allison told me that's her plan. I mean,
Yeah.
she's got like a strategy. She's going to meet Justin at the top so he can take that.
Justin will be
selfie.
up there freezing his butt off when the 50s up there, just so you know.
So,
cool.
Didn't happen.
but you're right. You got to get out of the way to do that selfie, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Good luck to everybody, because I'll tell you, that's tough to do, run over that Skyway.
That is really tough.
I'm going to run over to the fridge, grab a drink, and watch you all run across the bridge.
Good luck. Good night.
Look at all this construction. Just look for the cranes.
Tampa Bay is changing.
And so is 10 News.
10 News, have you watched us recently?
10 News is changing because we listen to what it is that you want.
Viewers talk to us and we talk back to them. It's real, it's authentic, it's a conversation.
We want to find those things that are being talked about but not being covered. You guys can hear me, right?
We're telling your stories. Traditional news, they're talking at you. 10 News, we're talking with you.
10 News is building a whole new newscast.
Pardon our dust.
Living with chest